Most of you remember me mentioning that we were going to be reading a novel together in class. That novel is going to be To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. You're going to be given your own copy of the book. You're going to take it home every night and read maybe 1 or 2 chapters at the most, and come in the next day in class and we're going to discuss those chapters. And I made this PowerPoint to show you all exactly what I want yours to look like, or sort of look like, not exactly, but just the content that needs to be involved in it for when you make your own presentation PowerPoint for the book that you are going to choose to read here in a couple of months. We're going to go to the library and you're going to choose your own book, read it, and make a PowerPoint based on your book. So this is an example. Feel free to look at this example while you're making your PowerPoint to line it up and make sure everything's in it that's supposed to be. Okay, so To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee is the book we will be reading. A little bit about Harper Lee herself. She was born in 1926 and died in 2016. She is from Monroeville, Alabama. Her genre of writing is Southern Gothic, and that is going to be very obvious when we read To Kill a Mockingbird. She actually won a Pulitzer Prize for this book, and it's now considered an American classic. So if you have heard of this book, or you've seen the movie, or you've read it, or someone's talked about reading it, it's because it's very popular. It's a book that many people associate with and know about. She actually wrote the book based on an event that took place when she was 10 years old in her hometown. So it's not based on a true story, but it was inspired by events that she saw as a young child. And actually, in July 2015, Ghost at a Watchman is the second part to this novel, and it follows all the characters from the To Kill a Mockingbird book just like 20 years later, and about how their lives were changed. So, what is this book about? Well, the story is told in first person, and let's remember, guys, we talked about what first person is. First person is when the narrator is the main character. They talk about everybody else in the town or in the setting. They use I and me. So when we're reading it, you will see that this book is written in first person, and Scout is the first person. She is the main character and the narrator. The story is told from Scout's childhood point of view as well as her adult point of view. So she's going to be looking back as an adult, but also be telling it while she's a child. So it's kind of confusing, but if we get confused, I will be more than happy to explain it as we go. The story takes place in Alabama during the Depression, so it's a time of poverty, the economy's down, and it's basically just a time in America where everything was rough. Everything was hard at the time. It's a book about coming of age. We talk about Scout growing up and realizing things, the impacts of racial injustice, especially in the South during this time. And the main theme is to never do wrong by someone who is helpless and has done nothing wrong. We will see that while reading this book. And a major hint, look for symbols. I'm going to be asking some of you to give these symbols and what you kind of feel they might be, or who might be a symbol, or what might be a symbol within this book. So be ready. I'm going to be asking some of you to give me some symbols, and we're going to discuss it. Here's your list of characters. I'm not going to go into really deep detail because we'll get there when we read the book. But just here's some of the characters that you're going to be coming across, and just their role in the book, and how they're connected to the other characters. So, of course, we have Scout, our main character, Jim, Atticus, Calpurnia, Tom Robinson, Mayella, Robert, and Boo Radley. So this isn't all the characters. It's just the main ones that we will hear their names over and over again. So we're going to be really associated with them by the end of the novel. And the book was converted into a film in 1962. It stars Gregory Peck as Atticus Finch, and it won several awards, including Golden Globes and Academy Awards. And if we have time, we may even watch the movie after we read the book. So that's seriously all I'm interested in when you make your PowerPoints and your presentations. So feel free to use this one as an example or a guide or however you want to use it. Just don't copy it word for word. Of course, you can't do To Kill a Mockingbird as your book. You have to choose a different one. But this is what I'm looking for. Make sure you have graphics, which is images, and make sure all the slides that I provided are the ones you provided. If yours doesn't have a film, that's okay. But if it does, feel free to include that. So I hope that helped you guys out, and I can't wait to start reading this book with you guys.